Hey everyone, it's Zack Beck. Hope all is well and you're having a great day so far. As you might have noticed, I'm recording my video from a very different location than normal right now. Generally, I record in San Diego, California, which is where I live, but I just so happen to be on vacation with my wonderful wife, Megan, here in Paris, France, and I want to share this experience a bit with you. What I want to do in this video is break down in detail some of the strategies that I employ throughout the course of the year to be able to save money, invest wisely, and have a balanced and moderation approach towards my lifestyle to be able to go and experience these kinds of things, such as traveling around the world. So what I want to do here is go into depth as to what strategies I utilize, how you can apply them in your own life so that way you can go and live out your experiences, whether your dreams are to go and travel the world, purchase a home, get a new car, or do something different that might be bringing you value and meaning and most importantly joy to your life. So let's take our time, dive in the details, and jump into it right now. As previously mentioned, I'm here on vacation in Paris, France with my wife, Megan. This is something we've been very fortunate to do before. This is actually our fourth trip to Paris, France, and it's one of the most amazing cities in the world. Now, I'm not here today just to talk about what it means to go on travel or on vacation, but the actual approach that you can take day to day throughout the course of the year to achieve goals and experiences such as being able to go and travel the world. Now, you might have different goals than myself, like I said, of purchasing a home, going and getting a new car, being able to go on a vacation, or just having a bit more money in your bank account to have peace of mind. And some of the things that I utilize in my life to be able to achieve these goals are very simple and straightforward and something that you can replicate very easily in your life. You hear me talk often on this channel about the importance of saving money, but saving money is one relative approach that you can take, and it's how you save money that really makes the difference. Now, before we get into the specific details of the steps you need to take, I believe it's always important for you to have a North Star in your life or a specific goal that you're working towards. Traveling is a very important thing for my wife, Megan, and myself. That's because personally, my wife, Megan, lived overseas. She traveled throughout the course of our life. I actually proposed to her when I visited her in China, which is where she was living at the time, and that is something that really is meaningful and valuable to us. So traveling is something that we work towards, and we'll cut back in other areas of our life to be able to afford to go on these kinds of trips. Now, from that perspective, that's different than what you might be pursuing. You might really want to be able to go and visit a specific state. You might want to be able to purchase a home. You might want to do some sort of different experience, but whatever it is for you, if you do that, have that in mind, and have the approach that you're wanting to work towards that goal, it gives you the motivation to make the sacrifices necessary to achieve it. And there's a saying that goes along with this, which is very meaningful and impactful to my life, which is to spend extravagantly on the things that you love, but cut mercilessly on the things that you don't. And for us, this kind of leads right into what we do on a day-to-day basis to be able to achieve these kinds of goals of being able to travel the world, which is something that we do on a regular basis. And this is all the more meaningful right now as it's coming at the end of the pandemic. And one of the things that we do is we do everything we can to save money. You hear me talk often on the channel about the importance of saving money, and on that, it's very important for you to have an automated system in place. For us, we save our money automatically out of our paychecks. It goes into our retirement accounts like a 401k, a 457, or a Roth IRA, depending upon what options are available to you. And then we take our money going into other areas like a high interest savings account. And if you do that on an automatic basis, making sure that you have money taken right off of the top, then you're less likely to spend it. And we'll have that money set aside so that way during the course of the year it's growing and we're making sure we have money that's going to be able to help us afford to go on trips like this. Also, when you think about what you're going to do, whether you're looking to purchase a home, get a new sort of item that you're wanting to get, or whether you're looking to go on a vacation, try and be wise in what you actually do to make that happen. You don't have to pay super expensive rates to be able to get an airfare. You don't have to pay super expensive rates to get a hotel. You don't have to get the most expensive home, the most expensive car, and other things. You can actually be a bit wise in how you do your research to study and make wise transactions. So that's what we do as well. We take a lot of time to be diligent in making sure that we make the trip meaningful, but also affordable in a way where we're not stressed out or feeling as though we have this sense of guilt associated with the actual transaction. So if you're doing that along the way as well, that can help. Now, on a bigger scale, there are other things we want to do. What I like to do is try to avoid lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation is basically where we try and live life the same way as others because other people are doing it that way. Whether it's trying to have the nicest car, the nicest home, the nicest clothes, or other things, if you try to avoid having that, it's really going to help a lot. And that's all the more relevant when you're doing things like traveling. It's easy to get sucked into the inflation of what other people are doing. And specifically in Paris, France, where it's the heightened level of fashion, and when you have all these very expensive and elegant things, it's nice to be associated with that, but I'm not going to go and spend $5,000 on a pair of shoes or do something, extravagant like that because it doesn't have meaning or value to myself. So when you're thinking about your day-to-day life decisions, if you can avoid lifestyle inflation, that will help you out tremendously. Furthermore, try to avoid debt. This is all the more relevant, especially when we're talking about getting to the point of having a big transaction. If you do not have the money to spend for something, we really shouldn't apply that in our lives, specifically when it comes to traveling. I made a mistake early on in my life of utilizing a credit card to go and travel when I didn't have the resources necessary to pay for it, and that trip over time cost me significantly more than had I just saved up and spent cash for it. I know there are people who disagree with me and say, well, you need to earn points, you need to do other things to be able to make sure you have airline miles. I get that, I understand that, but I believe when you utilize credit from a consumer perspective, you're more likely to spend more money than you are to actually save money, because you're more tempted to do so because it doesn't hurt when you actually make that transaction. So what I like to do is make sure that I've saved up enough, I have it set aside, and that's what I use to pay for a trip like this. And similarly, if you're going to go buy a car, don't go and finance it, don't do other things. I know they're low interest rates, but that's going to put you in debt and that's going to give you a negative net worth. Just try and save up the money necessary to purchase in cash. Really, the only thing you could do when it comes to taking on some form of debt is in the form of a mortgage, where that's really a safe approach to take. And if you're going to do that, you have the 15-year, 30-year approach. It's really just to your preference. But if you try to avoid debt, that gives you less stress in your life. It helps you build a positive net worth. So when you go and have these kind of experiences, make these kinds of transactions, you're doing so with the freedom knowing that you're not adding more stress or more debt to your life. You're just able to be in the moment like I am right now. My wife Megan and I have had an incredible time on this trip. We've been all around Paris. We've been able to go to Monet Gardens. We visited, key locations like you've seen before, the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre. We've seen the Arc de Triomphe, the Champs-Élysées. We've been all around, ate great food, had wonderful time, shopped around, but most importantly, it's the time together and being able to be peaceful and less stressed that's really the most meaningful and impactful, because we work super hard throughout the course of the year to have moments like this. And I want this for you as well. Whether you're, like I said, looking to travel or do something else, if you're diligent throughout the course of the year in how you structure your finances by saving money, avoiding lifestyle inflation, and avoiding debt, you're more likely to be able to set aside the things you need to be able to make the transactions necessary that can bring you the kind of fulfillment and joy you want, but you're doing so without adding any more guilt or any more stress or any more burdens on you that are unnecessary. Now, I've already talked about the importance of saving money, avoiding lifestyle inflation, avoiding debt, and if you have this all set up in place in your life, then you want to take the last step, and that would actually be investing your money strategically. And this is only if you've already gone through the process of having no significant debt in your life, you already have an emergency fund saved, you already have the automated system in place, that way you're stress-free and you know your money is going where it needs to, but now you can actually take the step of having your money grow over time. And what I like to do is invest my money strategically, specifically into index funds. If the last year taught us anything during the course of the pandemic, with stocks like GameStop, cryptocurrency like Bitcoin going up to the moon but immediately crashing afterwards, we've seen the volatility that comes when you try and make individual decisions about individual investments. Generally speaking, for the majority of people out there who are just wanting to live their life, work their job, and have some fun, trying to spend time strategically finding which particular company to invest in, how you can get rich quick, generally isn't going to pay off. You can even look at someone like the Dogecoin millionaire who invested in YOLO, a bunch of money into Dogecoin, had his wealth grow all the way up to over $3 million, but it came crashing down as the price of Dogecoin came crashing down. And he was the anomaly, not the norm. So from that perspective, I like to go the index fund route. It is safe, it's secure, it's much easier to go for, because what I'm doing is I'm investing in the total stock market and letting the money grow over time, as opposed to being concerned about what's happening in the stock market on a daily basis. You might have seen a few weeks ago, the stock market dropped like 700 points in one day. I wasn't stressed at all, because I knew, you know what, if that goes down, guess what? I'm continuously buying my index funds. So as I'm getting that approach, I'm dollar cost averaging in. If the stock market goes low, I'm purchasing stocks when they're low. As the stock market goes high, my investments grow over time. And historically, what you're going to find with index fund is they return about 7 to 10% on an annual basis. So it's something that can be very strategic, it can be very simple, and really the importance is being consistent in how you do it. Once again, coming back to the approach of having habits that are integrated into a day-to-day basis, into a week-to-week approach, how you allocate money from your paycheck, that we're not spending it all, but you're strategically placing it into areas that really are going to make sense. And then that can result in experiences like this, where you're able to go on the dream vacation that you want, where you're able to go and have the lived experiences that you're wanting to pursue, when you can purchase that home, when you can do the things that are ultimately going to bring you joy. And those things might be, actual transactions, they might be possessions. Most likely it's going to be something associated with relationships and the people around you and the experiences that you have. I know that's what means the most to myself personally. So as you go through this process of building up a financial system that can hopefully help you reap some of the rewards of your hard work, I just hope that you're able to do so in a balanced way that allows you to have freedom and flexibility in the present, so you're not feeling as though you're sacrificing throughout the course of your life. You're just being strategic. And if you're able to do so and fulfill your dreams and experience these kinds of things, I hope it does bring you that kind of meaning and value and joy, because that's ultimately what I want for you. And that's even the reason why I created this channel in the first place. I've gone through a lot of different things in my life, and from the experiences I've had, I've come to really believe the importance of having balance and moderation in how I live my life when it comes to my relationships, when it comes to my finances, when it comes to every other pursuit I have, and being strategic in a way that allows me to be wise in the present, but also plan for the future. And then you can go ahead and have experiences like this. So from that perspective alone, I hope that this was useful for you. I hope that it brings you some encouragement as well, because I know going through this last pandemic over the year was very difficult for many people. And I hope that you can come and actually visit this wonderful city of Paris, France. I know many of you might have already been here, but if you haven't, it is unlike anywhere else in the world, full of art, culture, and fun. And from that perspective, I think it'd be wonderful for you to join here sometime if you had the opportunity presents itself to you. So with all that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. If you wouldn't mind, please tap the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Help push this video to other people who might need to hear it. Furthermore, if you wouldn't mind, please comment down below. I'd love to interact with you, get to know you, do any research on your behalf so you can make well and wise informed decisions moving forward. Furthermore, if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe to the channel. That would mean a lot to myself personally, as I do everything I can to create positive content that makes a positive impact in your life by encouraging you and myself to lead lives of meaning and purpose, all while maintaining balance and moderation. And if you do subscribe to the channel, please tap the notification bell. That will notify you every time I post a video, which I do on a weekly basis. Once again, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. I hope you have a wonderful Merry Day. Talk to you next time. Oh, and here is the Louvre. Check it out. It is pretty darn amazing. And if you see out there, there is the Eiffel Tower in the distance, this wonderful courtyard, this wonderful city. Once again, hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for being here. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Hard-working husband, getting a video done in France, and fighting pigeons, apparently. Pigeons aren't his favorite.